Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's lesson is on advanced vocabulary. We will be taking a look at some vocabulary that can help take your English to the next level. So, do you know how to use the following words? If not, then keep watching, because in part 1 I will show you the words in the context of a story. In part 2, I will break them down for you with examples of how they can be used.
Amelia had always dreamed of making a name for herself as an artist. She'd always admired people with creative skills, and though financial constraints made her dream seem like an insurmountable challenge. Undeterred, Amelia decided to learn how to paint. As she enrolled in an art program, her initial enthusiasm was met with apprehension. The rigorous curriculum and demands of the art world left her feeling inept, especially when compared to her more experienced peers. Amelia found herself in an unfamiliar terrain, bewildered by the complexities of technique and style. Her journey became further exacerbated when she encountered a stern instructor known for being disgruntled with anything less than impeccable work. Amelia felt the weight of expectations pressing down on her, creating an additional layer of difficulty to an already uphill struggle. Determined to mitigate the challenges, Amelia sought guidance from her more experienced classmates. With their help, she began to understand the intricacies of the art world and improve her skills. The once daunting path started to seem less insurmountable. In her pursuit of excellence, Amelia decided to do her utmost to impress her discerning instructor. Despite initial setbacks, she took each critique as an opportunity to learn and grow. With perseverance and dedication, Amelia's work gradually transformed from embarrassing attempts to impeccable pieces of art. As her artistic prowess developed, she exhibited her work in a gallery, and Amelia's efforts did not go unnoticed. A very wealthy aristocrat came across a particularly abstract piece of art she had displayed and insisted it would be perfect for his wife. He offered her a handsome sum of money for it, and the news caught the attention of a journalist who invited her in for an interview about her life and the meaning behind her artwork. After the story was published, she gained popularity with many other affluent families who began to bid for her art. Amelia eventually became a legend, just as she envisioned.
First, let me take a moment to remind you to please hit the like and subscribe buttons to show your support if you find this lesson useful. The word insurmountable describes a problem that is so great it is impossible to overcome. Some synonyms are unconquerable, overwhelming, and hopeless. The antonyms are surmountable. It often is used to describe obstacles, problems, or tasks that appear overwhelming or unbeatable, and implies a level of difficulty that may discourage people from attempting to solve it. Here are some examples of it being used. This small country is faced with an insurmountable debt. This small country is faced with an insurmountable debt. No difficulty is insurmountable if one sets one's mind on it. No difficulty is insurmountable if one sets one's mind on it. When it comes to entrepreneurship, there are no insurmountable barriers except those we impose on ourselves. When it comes to entrepreneurship, there are no insurmountable barriers except those we impose on ourselves. Undeterred describes continuing to do something despite a bad situation. Some synonyms are unswayed, not put off, unfazed. A state of being not discouraged, determined, and persistent. On the other hand, antonyms for undeterred are discouraged, disheartened, and deterred, which means losing motivation in the face of challenges. Undeterred represents the strength and ability to press forward despite problems. Some examples are: she was undeterred by all the negative comments. She was undeterred by all the negative comments. It was raining heavily, but he set out undeterred. It was raining heavily, but he set out undeterred. President Trump's former lawyer somehow seems undeterred by all the charges against him. President Trump's former lawyer somehow seems undeterred by all the charges against him. Apprehension refers to the anxiety or worry that something bad will happen. It involves a sense of nervousness regarding future events. Synonyms for apprehension include concern, worry, uneasiness. These terms highlight the emotional and mental state of being scared. On the other hand, antonyms for apprehension include confidence, assurance, and composure, representing a lack of worry or fear. Some examples are: I picked up the phone with apprehension. I picked up the phone with apprehension. He felt sick with apprehension. He felt sick with apprehension. The world watched with growing apprehension that World War III would break out. The world watched with growing apprehension that World War III would break out. The term inept describes a lack of skill, competence, or suitability in performing a particular task. It conveys a sense of inadequacy or incompetence. Synonyms for inept include clumsy, unskilled, awkward, incompetent, and inefficient. These terms mean the lack of ability in a given situation. On the contrary, antonyms for inept include skilled, competent, adept, capable, and proficient, which emphasize a high level of capability. Inept is used to characterize individuals or actions that demonstrate a notable deficiency in the required skills or knowledge. Examples are: the new headmaster is totally inept. The new headmaster is totally inept. Many politicians are inept and lack the intelligence to govern. Many politicians are inept and lack the intelligence to govern. I didn't hire her as she seemed inept at dealing with people during the interview. I didn't hire her as she seemed inept at dealing with people during the interview. Exacerbated is used to describe a situation where a problem or difficulty is made even worse. Synonyms for exacerbated include intensified, worsened, heightened, and escalated. These terms emphasize the idea that an issue has become more severe. On the contrary, antonyms for exacerbated encompass terms such as alleviated and relieved, which convey a sense of improvement or lessening of the problem. Exacerbated is often employed to express the worsening or deterioration of a situation. Here are some common ways it is used. I don't want to exacerbate the situation. I don't want to exacerbate the situation. Drug addicts end up on the streets or in jail, environments that will exacerbate their problems. Drug addicts end up on the streets or in jail, environments that will exacerbate their problems. Telling your wife she's overreacting only exacerbates the problem. Telling your wife she's overreacting only exacerbates the problem. You must always tell your wife she is right. Disgruntled describes a person who is dissatisfied or displeased due to unmet expectations. Synonyms for disgruntled include discontented, displeased, unhappy, and dissatisfied. On the contrary, antonyms for disgruntled include contented, satisfied, and pleased, emphasizing a state of being content or happy. Disgruntled is often used to depict individuals who harbor feelings of discontent or frustration, especially in the context of work or relationships. Some examples include: she was extremely disgruntled at being woken up so early. She was extremely disgruntled at being woken up so early. Data theft is often committed by disgruntled former employees. Data theft is often committed by disgruntled former employees. Excuse Harry, he's disgruntled about losing his job. Excuse Harry, he's disgruntled about losing his job. Bewildered describes a state of confusion or disorientation resulting from being puzzled by something unexpected or difficult to understand. Synonyms for bewildered include confused, perplexed, mystified, baffled, and dazed. These terms emphasize the mental state of being lost or unsure due to a lack of clarity or understanding. On the other hand, antonyms for bewildered encompass words such as clear-headed, composed, and certain, signifying a state of mental clarity and understanding. Examples of it being used are: I was completely bewildered by his question. I was completely bewildered by his question. He was bewildered when a well-loved member of the community was found dead in the forest. He was bewildered when a well-loved member of the community was found dead in the forest. The instructions completely bewildered me. The instructions completely bewildered me. Impeccable describes something that is faultless, flawless, or without any mistakes. It means a high standard of quality or perfection. Synonyms for impeccable include faultless, flawless, perfect, exemplary, and immaculate. These terms emphasize the idea of something being free from errors or imperfections. On the contrary, antonyms for impeccable encompass words such as flawed, perfect, and blemished, which highlight the presence of errors. Impeccable is often used to commend or describe things, behaviors, or individuals that exhibit a high degree of excellence, precision, or perfection. For example, the children's behavior was as always impeccable. The children's behavior was as always impeccable. Her academic performance is impeccable. Her academic performance is impeccable. Service is impeccable and the food is fresh. Service is impeccable and the food is fresh. Prowess refers to exceptional skill, expertise, or ability in a particular field or activity. Synonyms for prowess include expertise, mastery, skillfulness, proficiency, and capability. These terms underscore a high level of competence. On the contrary, antonyms for prowess include incompetence, ineptitude, and incapability, highlighting a lack of skill or proficiency. Prowess is often used to commend individuals who demonstrate extraordinary talent or skill in areas such as sports, arts, or any specialized area. Some examples of it being used are: with a prowess for writing, the author wrote a 13-chapter fiction novel. He's always bragging about his prowess as a cricketer. He's always bragging about his prowess as a cricketer. While you have prowess in maths, I can barely add 2 and 2 without a calculator. While you have prowess in maths, I can barely add 2 and 2 without a calculator. Envision refers to the act of imagining or mentally visualizing something that may happen in the future. Synonyms for envision include imagine, visualize, foresee, picture, and anticipate. These terms emphasize the mental process of creating a clear and vivid mental image or concept. On the contrary, antonyms for envision include overlook, neglect, and disregard, signifying a lack of attention or consideration towards future possibilities. Envision is commonly used when discussing plans, goals, or aspirations. Some examples are: I don't envision working with him again. I don't envision working with him again. He envisioned a better life for himself. He envisioned a better life for himself. They envision a future where everyone has access to clean water and sanitation. They envision a future where everyone has access to clean water and sanitation. Thank you so much for making it to the end. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you have any questions or suggestions, you can help me improve my channel by leaving a comment below. One last thing. It takes up a lot of my free time to create these videos for you, and it would help me to make more if you bought me a coffee at www.ko-fi.com/seriously English. I would appreciate your support. See you next time!